All right, so this is our first episode.
Let's do this.
All right,
That was
what's our
very
name?
manly.
What's our name?
Calling the shot.
Calling the shots.
Calling the shot. Let's get it.
My name is Holly Toliver. I played volleyball at Michigan State. I'm from Michigan. Went to a small high school called Berrien Springs, and I played club at Dead Frog Far Out, and we call ourselves
Dead frog.
Have you ever heard of Dead Frog?
No.
No, okay, well that's a new one. Yeah, I played at Dead Frog Far Out, which was in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Well, my name is Abby Fox. I am from Wausau, Wisconsin. I play volleyball at the University of Wisconsin lacrosse. I played club at Wisconsin Ice. Have you heard of that?
Wisconsin Ice or Ice?
Wisconsin Ice.
Ice, like hockey.
Ice.
So this is how we got involved with out of system, just in general. So I met Gage and Joe last year and got to know them really well. Been traveling around, going to different grass tournaments. I actually play Fortnite with them pretty often. So I guess like the relationship built from there. And then I also play professionally overseas. So I just was talking to them. We went to a grass tournament and we met Abby. And Abby's been my stud best friend since.
Yeah, so basically I met them because they needed another girl to play, and I was that girl. So here we are.
Joe called us randomly and was like, hey, we need some girls.
And we are those girls. So give me your favorite memory from college.
Oh no.
It's hard.
It is hard, and then there's so many different like situations. I'd say one of my favorite memories for sure is always the NCAA tournament. But we finally made it to the Sweet 16 my senior year, and then we went to the Elite Eight and we won against, it was a Big Ten like bracket. It was us, Penn State, Illinois, and some random team I don't remember. But they played Penn State first, so we didn't have to. So we got farther, quotes, in the tournament. We had to play Illinois, which they were good. They had Jordan Poulter as their setter, and they had Allie Bassinelli in the middle, I believe, and then Jackie Quaid on the outside. Still remember that scouting report like it was yesterday. I never really paid attention to scouting, I'm going to be honest with you. But when we actually put it into real life and practice and we did scouting, I got it. But it was like the looking at the sheet of paper with video that everyone was like, oh, Holly just doesn't give a fuck, because I'd sit there and just not really pay attention, and my coach would call me out like, Holly, what's this? And I would just use like context clues to figure it out. So I'm like, this is like usually common sense questions, and if I was wrong, she would dagger eyes. But I'd say that Elite Eight was probably my favorite memory, and I prided myself on like looking like I've been there before, even if it felt like, oh, this is nuts. So there's a picture, I'll have to send it to you, but there's a picture of us going to the Elite Eight, right? We win. It looks like we won the Natty Championship. I shit you not. I was like, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. And it's just like me standing there, my arms out, looking down at everybody just like piling on top of each other on the floor. Like, what the? But that's the picture that they got, and that's the picture that they continue to use. It's in the locker room, it's in the offices, they have it up on like all their social media platforms, and it's just like, it's me because it's the back, my number, like hair, everything. And everyone's like, Holly, why didn't you, I'm like, guys, we didn't win the Natty. Like, it's a big difference, because then like Penn State's sitting there watching us play, and they're like, embarrassing. Like, you guys are a joke, and I was like, nope, not doing that. But then they probably hated me for it.
Well, I mean, whatever. It is what it is.
I mean, we messed up, and our freshmen, because I'm freshmen who listen to this are like, we didn't do it. You did it. You definitely did it. Don't say you didn't. All the seniors know you did it, because we were there for 4 years and this never happened. We go to Nebraska. All right. Nebraska's all right at volleyball, right?
Yeah, they're okay. Yeah.
All right. We're at
We'll give them
Nebraska.
some props.
We're walking in. We have a chance to win this damn thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we give them a run for their money at home in 5. We lost by 2. And so we were at Nebraska. And we're like, let's get it, right?
Mm-hmm.
We go through the scouting. We wear our little pennies with the numbers on them. We play, and then we leave.
Mm-hmm.
And then our setter played club with their outside, Annika Albright. Annika goes, hey, found your scouting report in the locker room. Oh my God. And that's not even the worst part. The most embarrassing part of it was that they claimed that all of it was completely useless. They were like, yeah, none of that, like, it was very basic. It was like, this person hits hard. She's a good player. And, but our coach, still to this day, she swears on her life. She's like, we were going to go and hit that back corner, but they were there the whole time. They knew. I'm like, I don't know, Kath. I feel like Nebraska's like Nebraska. They have their moments. But yeah, so the freshmen, they would bring their scouting reports. Didn't matter. We had 7 seniors. They weren't playing anyway. No offense, freshmen, but they weren't. So it was nice that they left their scouting report with a nice little bow on top, like a present.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a game where you just got like demolished? Like I left a game once against Penn State, and I felt like I was in a boxing match. Actually, it was nuts. I have it's on my highlight reel because I think it's so funny when I send it to Proteins. Haley Washington was their middle, and Heidi Thalen was their opposite. She just ran slides, right? I got demolished. Like I'm up there, and Haley Washington, like it doesn't matter who's blocking her. She's playing in Busto, Italy, so she doesn't really need a block. Like if you have 3 blockers up there, she's still gonna make you look like a fool. Wicked fast arm, and she hits the crap out of the ball. She goes up. We have like a slower middle at the time, very heavy footed. And Haley was light on her feet quick. It was like a cat versus a Great Dane. It was just embarrassing. And she goes up and just demolishes this ball. And I was back row, so I'm like, okay, step into the hole. You know, you got to cover the space that your middle's not doing. And this girl rocks it off my thigh because I had my hands up covering my face. I was like, she's going to kill me. She's going to kill me. And it goes off my thigh. She rips the ball, goes off my foot. And then Heidi runs a slide, goes off my head because of the lack of blocking on that side at that certain rotation. And then Simone Lee decides that she's going to be superhuman and jumps. Like her waist is above the net. It's like playing a dude. She jumps so well. And our setter at the time, like very good setter, but she was struggling with a knee injury, so she could not. And her block in her hand always like faced out that way, but she couldn't block that well. So to say that she murdered me is putting it lightly. Like, drilled. And then my defensive coach, he's an assistant at Clemson now. He's like, you're getting hit. You're in the right spot. You know what, Jesse? Shut up. I'm getting drilled by everybody. I'm taking one for the team. And this is embarrassing.
I remember, I'll never forget, one time we're in a game and I was getting destroyed. And this girl on the outside, she was small. So, like, I was like, no, whatever. Frick that. Like, I can take this shit.
Don't underestimate them.
Bro, she's like hopping out of the gym. She's slamming shit. I remember one play. Okay, so I go, you know, as setters do sometimes. They go sprint after a ball. Okay, so I go, I bring it back in, right? So I'm sprinting back, probably more like a jog because whatever, you know. So I'm getting back to my freaking base, and they set the outside, right? Okay, I transition to receive this shit. Our right side, opposite, I don't know why she just said, let's leave Abby hanging on the line. She literally rocks me in the face. Like I couldn't even like react. And I mean, we've all been hit in the face, but like that time, I think I could have been KO'd. Dude, I was literally saying, everyone was like, Are you okay? So of course I'm just gonna like stand up and be like, freaking do it again, you know? So I like stand up, I'm like, whatever. But I'm like, things are a little blurry. Did I probably have a concussion? Probably. But I stood up and I was like, we're good. And literally the ref, he looks at me and he's like, are you okay? I was like, yes, sir. Run it
That's
back. Like,
the most embarrassing thing.
it's the worst because all of a sudden I was like, don't draw more attention to it. Like, I know I
Yeah.
just got rocked. Like, just it happened. Let's move forward.
I
So,
have a bit of a story for you.
oh,
I
hit
don't
me with it.
I don't think I've ever told you this one.
Oh,
This is
Lord.
a genuine reaction. I wish I had the pictures to show you how bad. So I'm playing at Duke,
Mhm.
and people from Michigan State listening to this, you already know what's about to go down. I'm playing at Duke,
Mhm.
and I go in, and I have a middle that's 6'4", and she's got the boniest elbows, and she's the skinniest girl
Ooh.
on the team. And there's an overpass. I'm left-handed, she's right-handed, and I'm playing outside. So when the ball goes in between us, we both have to lean, and it's a communication thing. Well,
Mhm.
she's 6'4" and touches 10'7", 10'8". I'm
Me
6'2",
too.
I touched 10'2", probably in that moment.
Mhm.
So she's a bit higher than me. I was like, she can have it. So, but I'm already mid-jump, right? So I start to come back down. And if you think
Mhm.
about the mechanics of a swing of a righty, her left arm is up, her right is back, and she's pulling through to swing at the ball. As she pulls
Mhm.
that left arm through, she bows me in the forehead,
Ooh.
right in the middle, right? I'm like, she knocked me, right? I look up to see if the play's still going. No, she fumbled. She fumbled, and it dribbled down our side of the net. Wasn't
No.
even worth it. When she bowed me in the forehead, it went down into the bridge of my nose when she hit me, and it just,
Ooh.
right? I had broken my nose my freshman year, so I was not a happy camper. I was like, shit, this kills. But I just kept going. I was in left front hiding because I couldn't pass at the time.
Mhm.
And I was about to pull back, and so we're in serve receive now, obviously. I feel my forehead start to get a little tight.
Oh
And
no.
I'm like, do I have a concussion? Like, I've never had a concussion. I don't know what it's supposed to feel like. I put my
Mhm.
hand on my forehead. I get a little bump. I was like, oh, that's embarrassing.
A goose
No.
egg.
Oh, not yet.
Oh
So then
Lord.
30 seconds happen because they serve and they beat us somehow in that point, and then we're in serve receive again. Now I have the down ref kitty corner from me because I'm hiding
Mhm.
up at the net. She's behind me.
Mhm.
My middle is pushed up by the center on the other side. And my middle looks at me. She had switched out, we rotated or something. She looks at me, she starts crying. I'm like, you're
She starts
emotional.
crying.
Yeah, I'm like, you're emotional. Like, what's your problem? And she stops the game and calls the ref onto the floor to look at my head. And I'm like, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. And I'm like, not.
Yeah.
And I put my hand on my head and I feel how massive this hematoma is. Like, it is so big. And I'm
The
just like, don't look at me. Don't look at me. The girls on the Duke team start looking at me like I'm a mummy. And I'm like,
Mhm.
guys, it's okay. It's fine. I'm fine. And
Mhm.
the ref is like, no, we have to stop the game. And Duke, like, there's a ton of fans here. It's where they play
Mhm.
basketball at Duke. Like, this place is packed. And there's a row of fans behind me. And by row, I mean, like, I don't know, maybe like 20 bleachers up, packed.
Mhm.
And it's on TV. And so the camera's following me around, whatever. And I turn and the ref is like, we need a medic. Like, instantly, need a doctor, need a medic. Like, we need people here ASAP. And I turn and I face all the fans behind me, and they all in unison go, and I'm like, no. And I'm so bad when it comes to embarrassment. I'm fine
Yeah.
with everything else, but embarrassment literally makes me cry. And I'm not an
Mhm.
emotional person. But they all freak out, and I'm like, I'm fine. I'm fine. And my nose starts to bleed.
Oh
Yes.
no.
And my nose strikes a bleed. This wouldn't be so bad. But then they're like, okay, so you're going to stay in or we can put someone in for you? And I was like, no, for sure. I'm still playing. So they shove a tampon up my nose.
Oh,
And
shut
I
up.
have this crater on the front of my forehead. Literally, it's a boil. Like, it's
Mhm.
so big. and it's tight. Like, I can feel how tight it is. I play 3 rotations in the front row. I murder the ball. I have like 8
Ugh,
kills just in
just thinking
that.
about that.
Yeah, my setter was like, where does she keep sending
Ah.
her? She's getting kills. I rotate to the back. I serve 3 aces. I get out, and I'm like, and the game ended. I didn't have to go back in. And I literally shook hands and broke down crying because this is so embarrassing. And then I watched back on TV, and the guy was like, and Toliver goes over, there's a timeout, I guess. Toliver goes over to talk to the coach. I think there's something wrong with the contact in her eye. And
Oh
then
my God.
on cue of him saying that, the camera's in my face. And it's like, nope, not a contact. I was like, shit.
Dude, that's so embarrassing.
And of course, our media person got pictures. I did not, make it a point to save these pictures.
Yeah.
It's around.
I think eventually we should bring up those pictures. But
I'll put that on the story. The call in the shot story for sure.